Mandy from the Leather Quill shop. It kind of looks like I'm not wearing a shirt, but I swear I am. I get asked all the time, I'm in a ring planner, but I want to try the Traveler's Notebooks. What do you recommend? Or I'm using an Erin Condren, but I want to switch to a Traveler's Notebook. How do I do that? So I thought this video would be a little fun and be very real, because you may not know this about me, but I have been around the block when it comes to planners, and I've tried just about everything. Kind of a planner junkie. So let me give you a little bit of planner history about Mandy Jean. I started off with a planner when I was like in the womb. I was planning my escape. No, I'm kidding. When I was actually in elementary school, I was a very organized child. Not OCD organized, but I liked to be organized. I started businesses when I was a kid. My mom and my grandma and my grandpa used to own a diner in the little small town that I grew up in, and I would sell things to customers. I would make like little coasters, or I'd make posters or things like this. Now, you know, people nowadays are going to be like, oh my gosh, you were selling stuff as a kid. I grew up in a very small community that was very different. People appreciated each other. It was like Mayberry, I mean, honestly, you guys. So it was like a family. So I started with that. And then I graduated to like the harder planners. Like when I was in middle school and high school, you know, we were given a planner that we had to use. And I was always the girl that got in trouble for decorating my planner too much. Normally with wrestlers, because something else you guys may not know about me, in 5th grade I had to write a report about my dream job. And my dream job, not knowing like what it actually entailed or like what I was saying, I totally understand why they had a problem with it. But I was the girl who wanted to rub the wrestlers down with oil. I was told that was an inappropriate job. So, true story. My mom had to come to school and everything. And the reason being was because I appreciated the art of professional wrestling. And I didn't want to be a female professional wrestler because I didn't want to get hurt. But it was, I kind of thought it was like a makeup artist type job. I didn't know any different. But yeah, that's what I put down, was I wanted to be the girl who rubbed the Oilers down with oil, which I would be good at that job now. But I was told I couldn't do that. So growing up, like I had, you know, like my dogs on my planners. I had NASCAR drivers on my planners because I was really big into NASCAR at the time. I had professional wrestlers on my planners, normally not wearing a shirt. So I was like an OG planner decorator from, you know, back in the 90s. And I did have Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I was Team Backstreet Boys when I was a kid, because NSYNC was like when I was in like middle school to beginning. Sorry about that, I had to change my battery again. So that was like my beginning of my planner journey. So then, you know, when I got out of high school and I was working and school and all that stuff, I always had a planner with me. Normally I had a planner like I kept in my purse, but I've always been like a list maker, and then I went into bullet journaling for a long time. I was bullet journaling before bullet journaling was cool. And then I went into, oh goodness, I got a Teresa Collins planner at Joann's that I liked, one of the little ones. And then I grew out of that into the Heidi Swapp ring planner. That introduced me to ring bound planners. Didn't care for the Heidi Swapp one as much, honestly. Like I did when I first got it, and then after I got it, I was like, meh. So I kind of dropped that. Then I went into Erin Condren. I was an Erin Condren box girl for a few months. Didn't care for the boxes. After my Erin Condren, I got into the Day Designer, and I loved the Day Designers, Dana Page, but at the time they weren't doing ring bound, they were only doing spiral bound, and I didn't really care for the spiral bound system. I mean, I liked it. Out of my planner options, that was probably the best one at the time. But then I met my bestie Alexis, and I got introduced to the Charmed Life planner, so I got that, and I love my Charmed Life planner. I still use my Charmed Life planner. But I didn't like the disc bound system similar to the Happy Planner, which seems like my Happy Planner video has, Happy Planner versus Erin Condren has like stirred some controversy. But I just wasn't a fan of the discs. So then Alexis made me a spiral bound Charmed Life planner for Christmas, and I love that planner. It's right there. I still use it. But then I discovered ring bound planners and got started in those again. So then I got a Filofax, and I was using my Filofax for a while. I had a pink domino, still have it. I have a yellow Kiki K 6 ring, still have it, love it. But I'm not a fancy schmancy kind of girl. I like rustic things. I love things that patina and tell a story and all this stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna look for a leather, like a real leather, like from a saddle, 6 ring binder, and I couldn't find one. Well, then I discovered traveler's notebooks, and I ordered a Foxy Fix. Didn't care for that as much. Didn't like the leather that they use, meaning like the dye. I didn't like the shiny thing. So, and then I got a thinner Foxy Fix. Didn't like that because girlfriend does not like thin leather. So then I got a Chic Sparrow. I got a Chic Sparrow Maverick. Liked it. Didn't love it. I wanted something that had a true leather feel. Like, I wanted something that, like, would patina and age. So I got a Mr. Darcy personal. Didn't really care for the personal size. Still have my Mr. Darcy. But Brett started doing leather work at that time. So I asked him to make a traveler's notebook for me. And it was flippin' flappin', like, perfect, exactly what I wanted. And it was rustic looking. And then you guys started asking me where I got the traveler's notebook from. And I was loving using it. And I was loving the inserts. And I was loving all this. So that's how Leather Quill Shop was born. Was because I have like no planner piece whatsoever. However, I still use a ring bound planner as a shop planner, and I'll tell you guys about that in a bit. So I've been around the block when it comes to planners, and I thought I would break this video up into like a couple sections. So first off, if you are an Erin Condren or a Happy Planner girl, but you want to try traveler's notebooks, but you don't want to give up your Erin Condren, what can you do with a traveler's notebook? Erin Condren's Happy Planners and Day Designers, and Plum Paper Planner, something, I think it's called. They all are a bigger size, right? And some people don't carry that large of purses. So when it comes to traveler's notebooks, you have a plethora of sizes. You can do a pocket, which is like this size. Perfect for in your purse. You can use a field note inserts. You can buy inserts on Etsy that have a calendar in them. You can do a personal size. A personal size, which is a little bit bigger than a pocket. Again, perfect size for in a purse. You can go to a standard size, which is like what I use, which is the bigger one. Because I don't use my Erin Condren anymore, I don't use my Day Designer. The only other planner I use aside from my planners is my Charmed Life planner. But if you don't want to give up the planning aspect of it in your Erin Condren, and you don't need to carry an actual planner with you everywhere, what can you use a traveler's notebook for? If you like the pocket size, like this, you can essentially use it as a wallet. There's many inserts online for that. You can use it as a wallet. You can use it as a notes, like on-the-go notes. You can use it as a monthly calendar. You can use it as an appointment planner. You can even use it as like a little like art journal or a little diary. You have many options with the little pocket-sized guy. Now, the thing I'll say is if you're like, I have an Erin Condren, I don't like it, I want to get a traveler's notebook, so I'm going to get a pocket size because it's the cheapest. Do not do that to yourself. Here's why. If you're in an Erin Condren, that's a big planner. You're going from a big planner down to a teeny tiny little planner. You're not going to like this at first. And if you do like it first, prove me wrong, honey. But it's a big, drastic change. Now, if you're using an Erin Condren strictly basically for like pretty planning, but you want to have a more functional planner that you can scribble in and cross out and things like that, not what I call an archived planner, because I would consider an Erin Condren kind of like an archived planner. A planner that you can keep as like a mini scrapbook. You can do these, you can do that with traveler's notebooks, but if you didn't want to waste your Erin Condren is what I'm saying. So with your Erin Condren, if you did that more of like a memory keeping type scrapbook, not Project Life, kind of Project Life-ish, and then had a traveler's notebook for like the on-the-go planning. The other thing a traveler's notebook, the pocket size is good for, is for travel. Meaning like if you're flying to Europe for a week, 2 weeks. And you just want to keep your memories. Perfect. You can put it in your little suitcase and you can remember all your memories. You can even get little pockets for these where you can put like little mementos and things like that that you may want to art journal in on your way home. Because you know what? That plane ride is very long from Europe to back to the States. So that's just some options. But I highly recommend that you do not go from Erin Condren down to a pocket. I would go from Erin Condren to max smallest. I would say standard leather quill, maybe a personal size if you're feeling a little risky, but it's a big difference. And my other thing is find inserts that you like first, and then look at those inserts and then judge the size of your notebook to your inserts that you like. Because a traveler's notebook itself is not going to give you planner piece. What's going to give you the planner piece is what you use on the inside. This is just a piece of the puzzle. So if you're using an Erin Condren, a Day Designer, a Plum paper planner, I think it's what's called Inkwell press planner, Happy planner, things like that, think about what you want to use it for. If you just want to have like a Dear Diary, pocket may work. If you want an art journal, you may want something bigger. So if you're coming from that side of that world, really think about what you kind of want to do with it. Do you want to start bullet journaling? So maybe your Erin Condren ended in January. Maybe it ends in December. Maybe you got an 18-month one, and it ends in December. Try out a new system. Maybe that would work for you. If you're coming from the Filofax world, Filofax is very similar to Traveler's Notebooks in the way that you have a lot of size options, right? So you have your A5 Filofax, you have your personal size Filofax, you have your pocket size Filofax, very similar to Traveler's Notebooks. The bonus with a Filofax or a ring bound system is you can move things in and out. You can move things around. Bad part, you can stuff them and they can get a little bulky and they can get a little heavy. So if you're having the ring bound planner but you want to try a Traveler's Notebook, what can you use both for, right? You know, if you say you have a personal size Filofax, you don't want to give that up. Your calendar's in there, you know, all your lists are in there, your kids' information's in there, it's essentially your wallet. Don't mess with that system if it's working for you. Like, don't do it. But you want to try Traveler's Notebook, see if you like it. Find an insert you like, maybe start art journaling in it. Maybe it's something that is strictly yours, where you can journal, like your diary type thing. Think about, are you okay with not being able to move things around in your Traveler's Notebooks? Because you can very easily make an insert for a Filofax, you know? All you have to do is cut your paper to the size you need, put holes in it, and bada bing, bada boom, you got an insert. Traveler's Notebook inserts are, in my opinion, just as easy, but you have to cut your paper, you have to make your cover, you have to fold it, you have to staple it or bind it, however you want to do that, and then you can put it through the elastics. If it's bound, though, there's not going to be moving around to the paper. So say, you know, you're starting this beautiful spread about, you know, the birth of your child. I know that's kind of dramatic, but like the birth of your child. And then you are writing on it and you spell the kid's name wrong. I've done that. Not like I've had a kid, but with my dogs. I'm sorry if I just compared your childbirth to my dogs, but my dogs are very important to me. And I was like writing Fire's name, and my husky Fire, her name was spelled F-Y-R, and on everything was F-I-R-E. So I always spell her name wrong. But I've done that before and I'm like, oh dang! So there's ways to fix that, which that's a whole other video, but you have to essentially go on to the next page if you don't want to fix it. That's the only thing. Filofax, you could just tear that out and you'd be done. You could do that with a Traveler's Notebook, but then the other paper is going to fall out too. So, you know, think about if you're okay with that. If you are in like a bound Rodea, I just roll my R. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and could not roll my R's. I say Rodea, and then I just roll my R's. Mrs. Riesler, if you're watching this, aren't you proud of me now? I just rolled my R. If you're using a Rodea, you're using a Leuchtturm or Leuchtturm. I didn't take German. I took Spanish. And you're bullet journaling in that, again, that's a bound system. So you're probably okay with the whole bound aspect of Traveler's Notebook. But when you're a bullet journaler, you make your own spreads, right? So that's part of the fun part of bullet journaling is, you know, doing your stencils or doing it yourself. With a traveler's notebook, you can bullet journal in a traveler's notebook. And I do have a video plan on how I personally do that because I still bullet journal a lot. Or you can find inserts. Maybe you're tired of making your own spreads and you're just like, I am so over making my weekly spread now. Like, I just want to have it done. There are so many options for that. That is a plus for a traveler's notebook for you. Downside of a traveler's notebook versus the Leuchtturm or the Rhodia is size-wise, you know, the standards are pretty much the same. If you want to use a traveler's notebook and you want to still continue to use your Rhodia and your Leuchtturm, our A5 leather quills do fit those books. So you would essentially just be buying leather cover. And you can add the notebooks into the other elastic. Now, my biggest thing is when you're looking at other artisans, make sure you understand their sizing. Because every artisan does sizing a teeny bit different. No one does the same sizing in their notebooks, which is kind of hard sometimes when you're like, okay, I just got a leather quill. It's a standard size that fits 5-inch wide books and below. But then I just got a standard size Foxy-Fix and it only fits Midori size. I don't know if that's true with Foxy-Fix or not, but I'm just using it as an example. So make sure you understand your sizes. If you're using a planner currently, and you love it, and you're seeing all this cool traveler's notebook stuff, and you're like, I want to do that. Try it. Seriously. Like, make your own insert. All you have to do is take paper, fold it in half, cut it down. You know, you're fine. You know, we price our leather quill products so anyone can buy them. They're not overly expensive. We have a lot of options. We do run sales sometimes, so make sure you sign up for our newsletter, which I'll include links down below for that. But play with it because you're never going to know if you like something unless you try it. Now, here's where this can get you in trouble. You have a planner system that is working for you and you're killing it. Like you're just like, my planner, I love it. But I want to try Traveler's Notebook because it looks really cool and I want to hang out with Mandy. I don't know why I needed to say that, but you see my point, right? Like you want to be in the club with like Traveler's Notebook kids. Just like sometimes when I watch some of the Erin Condren videos, I'm like, I want to be with the Erin Condren kids. You know, never satisfied, right? Do not give up a planner system that's working for you because you want to try something new. Because then you have to reinvent the wheel and redecide and figure out what's going to work for you in a traveler's notebook. Don't do that to yourself. Start simple. Start with like a Midori insert. I'm just using Midori as an example. Midori insert that is, because it has great paper. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. That has like great paper in it. And start playing around with it. Get a feel for the traveler's notebook. See if you like it. You may get a traveler's notebook and be like, the stupid elastic is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Every time I want to use my notebook, I have to pull the insert out. Everybody's different. Like, you don't know what you like until you try it. But if you're using something that really works for you, really think about if you want to change that. Because I think that's why I was in such planner limbo for so long, because I was changing. Like, every time, shiny object syndrome. Every time somebody got a new planner and I saw it on Instagram, I was like, oh, Christy Tomlinson just got a day designer. And then I have to buy the day designer. Seriously. It sucks. So I'm very happy now that I have my traveler's notebooks. If you have a Filofax or you have a Kiki K and you're just not in love with their leather quality, look online. Check out the Leather Quill Shop. But look online, look on Etsy and see what other artisans are making leather binders. You may find something that you love. And there's no reason, you should never feel bad. And I'm not saying this because I sell this stuff. I'm saying this as your friend. You should never feel bad about wanting to change out a cover. Because to me, this is just, you know, my hoarder coming out, but to me, when I change out my planner covers, it's like changing my shirt, you know? I want something different. I want us to play with something else. This is the first month, because I'm doing One Book July, that I haven't changed out my planner covers. But I already have the covers planned that I want to use in August. I'm like, I want to go back to Mandy Jean because it's my birthday month and it's hot pink. I want to use my turquoise trail a little bit. Like, that's how my brain functions. Like, I like changing things when it comes to that. So, while I keep my inserts the same, you can change out my cover. So, you know how you rip off your Erin Condren cover? It's the same thing with me and my traveler's notebooks. Just my traveler's notebooks cost about $40 a piece. So that's kind of my spiel on, you know, you're a planner girl, you're a big girl, but don't let, when you see really cool things on Instagram that you want to try, right? Like the girls who draw like the beautiful pictures on Instagram, I can't draw to save my life. Seriously, if I ever was like assaulted and I had to like draw a picture of whoever assaulted me, they would look like a stick figure, because I would be like, well, you don't get from my drawing that he has a scar here, and they're like, oh, I thought it was an extra eye. I'm terrible at drawing. But how can I use that in what I'm currently using? That's how I got started in art journaling. I suck at art journaling, but I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I'm learning as I go. So I hope that this video kind of empowered you a little bit, and that maybe you realized how you can use a traveler's notebook. Maybe you realized, I don't really want to use a traveler's notebook now. I think I'll stay with my Filofax, or I think I'll stay with my Erin Condren. That's totally cool. We can still hang out. If you use pens, we sell pens. I'm kidding. But I mean, don't feel like because you're using a different planner that you can't enjoy the beauty of other planners, because you can. It's, again, like I think with pretty planning and everybody kind of hopping on the planner bandwagon now and all the sticker shocks and stuff, a lot of people are really losing the appreciation for the actual function of the planner. So that's my biggest thing, is, you know, don't lose why you fell in love with your planner just because you want to try the next new and best thing. But also, if you do want to try the next best thing, don't head dive into that pool. Kind of tiptoe in a little bit and see if you like it. Because the hardest thing ever is when you were so organized and you're good to go, you're rocking it, right? And then you change your system and then you forget you have to go to the doctor. Or you forget to pick the kid up. Or you forget your dog at doggy daycare and then you have to swim in the pool for an extra hour and then they charge you $45. That can happen. So just, you know, sit down, have the hubs, watch the kids. In my case, you know, I'll lock my ferrets in their cage. And really look at the picture of what you're trying to accomplish with your planner and how you can use a different system. I love everything about planners, you guys. I love stickers. I love drawing. I love pens. I love clips. I love everything. Some of that stuff isn't supposed to work in a traveler's notebook, but I make it work in a traveler's notebook because I'm going to use the stuff. So that's kind of how I function with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any tips for switching, let me know below. I would love to know, because I get asked these questions a lot. And I love being able to give a lot of information, and even giving too much information. So I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you guys soon.